Hi, everyone. I am Maisha Tierra. I'm the artistic director at Perceptions Theater, and we are so lucky to have with us today none other than Brandon Etheridge. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful. If you all do not know, for those of us who have not watched Brandon's plays yet, which is hard to miss because Brandon is in the three out of the four that we have for our BIPOC festival, this is Brandon, who is one of our amazing actors who took on a lot doing this festival, and we're so very grateful for Brandon. So first off, Brandon, where are you from?
I'm born and raised Chicago, Illinois, South Side. Grew up in the West Chatham neighborhood. Attended Simeon High School. Went to Chicago State University. So yeah, South Side Chicago kid.
Okay. So, well, since you're from Chicago, then you went to school in Chicago. What made you want to stay home?
Well, I mean, it's no place like Chicago. I've traveled around the country, around the world, and it's nothing like Chicago, especially summertime shy. But I mean, I'm not opposed to going and visiting and staying in different cities or states. It's just that since I've been here and work and families here, I'm still here until a better opportunity comes along, and then I'll have to explore that.
Okay, so summertime shy. I'm gonna need
Yes.
you as a native person from Chicago because I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay.
So I was just on Twitter this morning and somebody was talking about summertime shy.
Mhm.
So for those of us who don't understand that experience, tell us, what does summertime shy mean?
So like in the summertime, I tend to spend most of my days outdoors. You have to take advantage of the lakefront, 31st Street Beach Pier. You can go up North Avenue Beach. And then there's a lot of festivals here in Chicago, like different festivals going on, if not every day, every weekend. So check out Eventbrite. I know a lot of things are posted there. And there's other platforms where they post the different festivals. They just had Silver Room Festival on 39th Street by the beach. That was a couple of weeks ago. High Park Festivals. So yes, it's Wicker Park is coming up. We just had Lollapalooza. So a lot of stuff going on. Taste of Chicago, Pride Weekend, all that good stuff.
So I know you said you went to Chicago State University.
Yes,
So what did you major in?
I majored in criminal justice.
Criminal justice.
Right.
Okay.
And how I ended up starting acting, I took a theater speech class. Something told me like, just take this class because I've always like since a child been interested in acting. So I took a theater speech class and I enjoyed it. My first play that I was ever in production was The Wiz. I was the Tin Man. I started out as an understudy, and then the actual guy who was casted, he couldn't do a couple of the performances, so I had my time to shine. So yeah, and then after that, I just did some few independent films, and and now I'm back in the zone where I want to get out there and perfect my craft and learn more and do more. So
I feel like for a lot of Black theater students who go to college, the Wiz has at some point has to be a part of what they experience, because
right,
I went to Northwestern State University. I majored in theater and criminal justice. So, there's
okay,
a little connection there,
right,
because my family was like, okay, theater, I guess, but can you major in something else too, just in case? They're
right.
not saying that now because I'm actually being successful at it. So they're
That's
like, oh, it was
awesome.
so wonderful that that's what you did.
Right.
But but no, I think that's wonderful. So you came. So we're doing the Wiz, and you were the understudy. And look, understudies do not often get the credit that they deserve because you have to learn all those lines, all
Yeah.
those dance moves, all those songs,
Right.
everything. And you may never see that stage.
Right.
And I'm just happy. Look, as one person who's done understudy tracks before for multiple shows,
Right.
look, I commend you. I'm happy that you made it on that stage and you were able to be seen.
Right.
So the Tin Man, what made you? First off, what made you audition for The Wiz? Because I know you said you took a theater speech class, but how did you go from criminal justice major who took a theater speech class to I'm gonna audition for The Wiz, which is like not just a play, but a whole musical?
I don't know. I was younger back then. That was what, almost 20 years ago. So I don't really remember. I guess I was just excited about, acting, doing something. So whatever position or whatever character they were going to give me, I was going to rock it. It didn't matter. I could have been a tree. I was going to rock it. So yeah, but with any character, even something as, we're talking about the Tin Man, you have to identify with that character. And I could identify with that character, and I brought it to life. And I think the audience was well pleased. I received a lot of compliments from it. So, yeah, I mean, it was good. It was a great experience for my first acting on stage performance.
I love that. I love accolades. When you get off, after you have that bow and everybody's like, oh my gosh, I just want to tell you how amazing you were. Look, I eat that stuff up. I love that. So are you a tap dancer then? Because I know the Tin Man does tap. So do you tap?
No, not. I'm not a tap dancer, but I was able to improv and do all of those moves and sing the songs and kill it. So yeah, I mean, I'm the type of person that I try to do everything, even if I'm not a perfectionist at it. I'm gonna try it at least. I'm gonna give it the best I can.
I feel like that makes for a much more adventurous life. And also when it comes to the acting world, it makes for a more exciting journey versus just doing, pigeonholing yourself and putting yourself in a little box that says, I want to do 1, 2, and 3. Don't ask me to do 4. But I love that you're like, I can do 4, 5, 6, and 7. All you got, look, just give me a little bit of time. I got you.
That's it. Just give me a little bit of time and I'm a rocket.
Yes, I love that so much. So you went from Chicago State University and then you started doing training at Second City. So what made you decide to go ahead and go to Second City?
A friend of mine, I'm not sure if you know her or not. Most people do. Lena Waithe. She's a producer of The Chi. She's on Master of None. She's Ready Player One. I think she produced the 20-something. So she, I reached out to her. I grew up with her. We grew up on the same block. I was telling her like, hey, I'm interested in getting back into acting. And she recommended that I take classes at Second City. So that's how I ended up there.
I love those connections when people be like, oh yeah, my friend, Denzel Washington, he just told me that I needed to. I love it but then it also lets you know how doggone small the entertainment community is, especially the Black entertainment community. At any point in time, you're 6 degrees of separation for somebody that's an A-list star doing something. But I love that Lena was able to, pour into your cup and be like, hey, yo, I could give you some advice on that. And they weren't someone, because sometimes gatekeeping can happen when we know that, to be true. But I'm glad that didn't happen for you. And they were like, hey, yeah, I think you should try this out. But so what you do in Second City, does that mean that you're great at improv? Because I know some of the greats from like SNL go to Second City.
I mean, so here's the thing. I'm very humble and modest. So as far as, I won't say that I'm great, but I feel like I can do anything. You give me a character or whatever, I'm a rocket, or I'm at least do the best that I can. And one thing that I, loved about working with Perceptions Theater was the directors, and I know we're going to get there, but being able to be coachable and take direction well. So improv is cool, but having direction is even better.
No, from an actor standpoint, I also agree. Like, I love, having improv in your bag in case you need to do it. But direction is always helpful. But that is a great segue for us, because how did you discover Perceptions Theater?
So a good friend of mine, Cassandra Bell, she had sent me the I guess it was a casting call. And I was like, I had told her I was ready to get back into acting. I've done some work with her in the past, and she sent me the casting call. So I applied, and I was very much so happy and pleased to work with Perceptions Theater. I thought everybody was awesome. How you guys handle business was like stellar. That I can't think of another word for it. And like I say, everybody was great, man. And working with the other cast members, everybody was nice. We were able to bounce off of each other. So I think it was just a great, wonderful experience working with Perception.
Well, thank you so much. Look, I soak all those compliments in, because I also am a very humble person. So when people are like, oh, y'all are doing great, I be like, for real? Y'all think that for real? So it's like, you gotta like say, thank you. Just take the compliment and be rolling with it.
My parents had came to the first performance, and they talked so highly of you all. They were well pleased too. Keep up the good work, and I'm looking forward to working in the future with you guys for sure.
Wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that because we are 3 years old. Like literally, we are a toddler. And, and we're just so blessed that so many people are like gravitating towards us and enjoying their experiences, because we're a lot of millennials and Gen Z who make up the company, and we've had our own personal experiences in theater, and we want to try our best to make sure that we are pouring into other people's cups and weighing the pros and cons that we've experienced in our own experiences and trying to change that for how we create theater and make it happen. So thank you so much. My next thing for you is you played in The Voice Inside My Head by Lewis Johnson. You played in Kingdom by Nick Bell, and you also played in Was It Me by Andrea J. Fulton. What made you say, I'll do all 3 parts? It's cool. It's 3 different plays. I'm good.
Whenever opportunities are presented to you, you have to take advantage of it. So if you could have gave me 100 different characters to play, I would have played each and every last one of them, because not only does it help you hone and build your craft, you get that exposure. I try to learn something from each and every person that I encountered, and I do that as well with each and every character. Like I said, it was excellent directors, so they were able to pull and tug and get that, that was my first monologue that I had ever done. So at first was, the director, Rashad, he was able to see things that I couldn't see, and he was able to pull that out of me. So, like I said, phenomenal experience. And like I say, whenever I have an opportunity, I'm going to take advantage of it. So, I just try to tap into 3 different people and make those characters come alive.
For you, how was that process? Because I know it's 3 different parts, 3 different things you had to learn. And for that monologue to be your first one you ever had to do, I personally love one-man show monologues because it takes you on a journey. It's very much so storytelling more than anything. So what was your process to make all 3 of those characters different? Because for those of you that have not watched it, they are 3 different people. And for those of you that have watched it, you can see that it's 3 different people. It's not the same character. And I love that.
I had to identify with the characters first of all. So once I was like, oh, I can identify with this, like I've experienced some of these things. Then the next thing was, what do I want the audience to get out of my character? How do I want them to feel? What message am I conveying to them? Or what was the author trying to convey in the message? So what my interpretation of that was, and then I just tried to put it out there. So everybody could, enjoy it. But I think that we all have like personalities, even like when you're applying for a job, you become a different person, because you want to get that job. So you put on this facade and that character. So I just tapped into that, different personalities or different experiences that I've had in life. And like I said, if you give me 97 more, I'll tap into 97 more people. I like I said earlier, I try to learn something from each and every person that I come in contact with, whether it's good or negative, something that I deem as constructive or non-constructive, and therefore we have characters who are not so good characters.
So I want to know, since I know you also done indie work as well. You've done Sugar and Spice, The Legion, The County. I want to know, when it comes to theater, film, and TV, like where does it rank for you? Is there a rank? Is there a 1, 2, 3, or is it a whatever I'm feeling that day?
I like film. I think theater, it's a different stressor with theater because, of course you have people watching you. It's real time. You don't want to mess up, you don't want to forget your lines. And I like TV and film because, you can get the different shots and the different scenes and, the music that you can add so it can be even more dramatic, the effects and stuff like that. So I like doing film, but I think that theater is where that's where you cut your teeth at. I think that's the threshing floor. So I think that's where you're made at in the theater. but I do enjoy film.
Wonderful. And you're right. There's so many of the A-list stars, especially within the Black Hollywood community, that if you look back at their resume, they were at somebody's theater school on someone's stage trying to get those lines together. And now some of them are the most successful, most talented actors out there. You can always just kind of tell when you're watching a film, you're like, they had studied theater. Let me Google this, because there's no way this person is giving this performance and they've never touched the theater stage. And I mean, you love to see it, because it is where you get the grin and bear it bones of it, because like you said, you're right there. There is no cut. Right. Let's redo that. It's you keep it going, which I think also really helps a lot with the improv. You mess up, you keep it going. Someone loses their line, you keep it going, because you got to make it happen regardless. But moving on into your indie work, with indie films, I always feel like, it's a lot of access for the actor to have some kind of creative control, to be able to just, enjoy the process even more so than when you have like strict things you have to adhere to with bigger budgets, where, you're doing exactly what the director says and you only get so much leeway depending on who the director is. So how has your experience been with doing indie work?
I think you hit the nail on the head. Contingent on who you're working with, they may allow you to play around with the script, like you say, improv, or, any experience that I have is positive when it comes to, doing anything. I just try to learn from it and enjoy. This is a therapy for me. Everybody has their different things that they do. This is what I enjoy, sitting down with a script, having to memorize it. It's a challenge for me. It's a challenge for me building that character. Working on independent films and working with different people. There are a lot of great writers and directors out there, and I just try to feed off of them and make the best performance that I can make. And again, I'm just trying to hone my craft and continue to do it and do this for fun. Of course, I want to develop and be, a professional in the field, but it's also fun for me. It's also therapy for me. It's also, I can become somebody else and get away from daily life and the toils and all that other stuff, the stress and drama of daily life. I can be somebody else, so I enjoy it.
And we definitely enjoy watching you up there make it happen, for sure. And as you were saying, the daily toils of just life outside of that, and being able to do theater as a form of therapy for you. Mm-hmm. Our next thing was, how do you balance that? How do you balance your acting life with your, not necessarily real life, but life outside acting?
Again, it's fun. So it's not like something that I have to stress over. So it's like something that I look forward to. So once the daily 9 to 5 is done, then I can go and focus on my character and building that character. Like I said, I just enjoy it, so much that I don't even look at it as work. I just look at it as, this is what I'm doing. This is my life, and regular 9 to 5, that's just how I obtain money. So I figure if I continue to keep that mentality as this is my real work, acting, and then one day, whenever, hopefully, I make it, it'll just be fun. I won't ever look at it as it's a job or something that's toilsome. I just look at it as, I have fun doing this.
And I think that is a great way to look at it. I think a lot of us who may have been doing this professionally for like years or before, since like, a young age, and, they sometimes can get to a point where they feel like it's work. Yeah. And I love when I hear from those who are actors who are more so just getting into the industry, or took a break, or now coming back to it. And that energy that you're given, make sure you do not lose that, because even if you decide to do this, like, on a contingency basis of continuing to be professional with it and book even more stuff, get an agent, fly out there to LA, just be this grand star one day. Just make sure you keep that within you, because there are going to be, it's a journey. We always say that it's a journey. It takes a while. You don't become a superstar overnight. You don't even become successful overnight. Forget the fame part. You don't even have consistent acting work overnight.
Right.
So it is a process and it takes time. But I think with that mindset that you have, that it'll continue to be fun and it won't become a stressor for you. It won't be something that you feel like is a job because you're keeping the fun involved in it. I think a lot of us who've been doing it for years professionally, if we can take that bit of advice and say, you know what, I need to make sure that I continue to look at it like that and not like it's a job, I think that will best serve us on this journey to continue on as actors. And as we all know, artists always have some type of influence so I want to know from you, who are your biggest influences? They can be artistic or otherwise, but who are your biggest influences?
I'll talk about actors that I really enjoy, and then I could talk about personal. So some of my biggest influences as far as in the acting, like I'm a big Idris Elba fan. I like Samuel L. Jackson as well, because I watched his last TV show, Ptolemy Gray, believe it was the name. It was excellent. How he can transform like that. I'm a big Will Smith fan. I know his name is out there, but I'm a Will Smith fan. Of course, Denzel. Everybody. I'm big Matthew McConaughey. As far as personal, mom. Of course, she has to go at the top of the list. It's funny because like when I told my mom like, hey, I want to start doing this acting thing, because she knows Lena, right? So she's like, oh, okay. She's like, but, don't quit your day job. And then when she came and saw me at the performance, she was like, oh, you can really act. I didn't really realize that you can really act like that. So she was like, you might make it. So she said, you might make it. So yeah, that motivates me that she was able to come out and see it and was like, yeah, I think you might be onto something. So yeah, just and then I have a great support system of friends.
I love it. And look, Mom was right. She's like, now don't quit no day job. Now that's cute. That's nice and all.
Pretty much, she's like, you're not coming back here. You understand that, right? You can't come back here.
But look, once they see you actually do it, once they see all the glitz and the glamour, they see the lights, they see the production value, they see all these things, and all of a sudden they're like, well, doggone, maybe my baby can make it. Maybe I spoke too soon. Don't quit your day job. But when they come and calling for the red carpet, make sure I'm up there too. I got to get my photo out.
Right, exactly.
So we know that therapy for you can be like theater. And that's a big part of your relaxation. However, we heard you had some other hobbies. A little birdie told us that they saw you when they was riding on their scooter at the beach. They saw you cycling, and that little birdie was our executive director, Jay. So, right. So is cycling one of your hobbies, I see?
Yes. Cycling, I try to get out every day. Actually, I'll be going out when we're done. I try to get out every day when time permits. I also have a Peloton, so when the weather is inclement, I'm riding on the Peloton. So again, I like being at the lake. I talked about it, being at the beach and seeing the water is tranquil for me. That's my other form of therapy again. And I was sharing with you earlier, I'm a reader. I try to read at least a minimum of 10 pages a day. So I picked this hobby up when the pandemic started. So yeah, I'm a reader. I journal every day. So those are my therapies.
I love it. Look, a man after my own heart. I love it. As we wrap up, I want to know, where can we see Brandon next? What does Brandon have coming up? Does Brandon have anything coming up? What is Brandon's plans for the future when it comes to your acting career?
Well,
or your acting hobby?
I'm definitely, I don't have anything planned at this time, but I'm definitely looking forward to working with Processions Theater in the future. Cassandra Bell Studio, she has some things coming up as well. So yeah, you guys can find me there. Hopefully in the future, my name's gonna be in those bright lights, so yeah.
Look how small the world is. Cassandra Bell is actually cousins with our literary manager, Kenny Bell. Okay. So look at that. It was destined to be regardless. We were gonna see you anyway at some point, I'm sure. But with that being said, we're so happy that you took out the time today to talk to us, Brandon. We can't wait to see where your career goes. And this festival is going into August 14th. If you're seeing this episode now, this means it's Friday.